iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. We'll take a look at last night's big game to start the Fantasy Football Week 11. We'll take a look at some news and notes. And, of course, we will do my hot takes for Week 11. So, I got to say this. I was pretty dead on last night. I really was. I was pretty dead on in last night's game. So, sometimes I just love when it works out that way. I think I had Ben Roethlisberger at about 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was 299 and 4. It just lent itself to a game where the Titans' secondary is not good enough, and Ben was good enough. And Antonio Brown was better than anybody they had in the field. Nobody could cover him. 10 receptions, 144 yards, and 3 touchdowns. If you had Roethlisberger to Brown, you were probably winning this week. Congratulations. Le'Veon Bell, 46 yards rushing. Tennessee went all in to stop him. I thought that would happen. The beautiful thing about Bell is that he gets receptions. He had 9 receptions for 57 yards. That's huge. Juju Smith-Schuster, this was a rough week for him. Why? Because Brown had such a good week that they didn't have to go to Juju, so only 4 for 47 really didn't help you out. For Tennessee, there was no running game to speak of. Henry looked good at spots, but not good enough. DeMarco Murray didn't do anything there. Marcus Mariota did have 306 yards and a touchdown. He ran in a touchdown, but he also had 4 picks, which was brutal. Rashard Matthews, always good. I said he was probably going to score, and he did. Decker did nothing. My biggest shock was Corey Davis doing nothing. He had 7 targets, but only 3 for 27. And Delaney Walker, he had 6 for 92. I said he wasn't going to have a good week. I stand by that. What happened was they were in garbage time, so they went to him. So that was big there for Delaney Walker owners. So if you had him, good for you. Okay, let's take a look at some news and notes. Ty Montgomery, unlikely to play Week 11 against the Ravens. Load yourself up on Jamal Williams and I'm just giving you a guy, Devontae Mays. Okay? There's a chance that he plays. I think that he suits up. Okay? This is a kid from Utah State. Pretty good running back. Nothing special. Decent enough guy. He will be the backup this week. If, God forbid, something happens to Jamal Williams and you see the name Devontae Mays, you know why. Leonard Fournette says he's just not looking forward to playing against the Browns. Well, thank God he got picked by the Jaguars and he gets 8 games a year in warm weather. So is this a big Fournette week? Maybe not. Maybe not. And I'm just going to go through something with you here, okay? Guys who play professional football who come from warm weather climates, i.e. Sammy Watkins, who comes from Fort Myers, right? Went to school at Clemson, barely if ever plays games in cold weather. Leonard Fournette goes to school at LSU. Where is he going? Where is he playing his games? Texas? Mississippi? Kentucky? He's not going to Cleveland, where it's going to be minus whatever degrees. So, yeah, I would worry about Leonard Fournette. And that's something to think about. So, let me just throw this out here to you. Week 11 in Cleveland could be a problem. Week 12 in Arizona, not a problem. 13, 14, 15, not a problem. Week 16 in San Francisco could be a little chilly by then. By the Bay, a little windy by the Bay. So that's something that I'm going to file away as good to know about Leonard Fournette. So if there's a game in Buffalo next year, Week 16, he may not be my guy. Okay? Just throw that out there. Looks like Alshon Jeffrey is questionable, but he is expected to play this week. Remember, The practice reports Friday. We'll get a lot of information out there. We'll know what guys are doing, if they're playing. We will figure it out this week. So I am looking forward to seeing the practice report. And I will discuss the practice report in detail tomorrow on my Saturday morning show, which goes for 3 hours tomorrow, 7 to 10. If you wanted more Dr. Roto, and who doesn't, you know what I'm saying? We will be 3 hours on SiriusXM. Fantasy Sports Radio. I got my guy Jason Braddock coming on in hour number 3. So you know I've got Doc Jess Flynn talking injuries. I've got Fuego Steve. I've got Willie Walls. And I got my man JB, Jason Braddock. So it should be a very good show, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, time now for the hot takes for week number 11. The hot takes for week 11. And I love the hot takes. This really is one of my favorite podcasts of the week, if not my favorite podcast of the week, because I love being right. I mean, who doesn't love being right? But I really love being right. So this is one where I always go back and say, I said it this week, and you know where I said it? Usually in this podcast. Detroit at Chicago. Okay, so first thing I'm going to notice in Detroit and Chicago is I think that Detroit's run defense is not as good as you think it has been. So the Lions, the last week against Cleveland, 144 yards and a touchdown. They've let up 2, 3, 5 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks. Do you not think that Jordan Howard is going to score this week? I might be locking that bad boy in. I think Jordan Howard is going to play well this week. For Detroit, I like Golden Tate a little bit. I don't love Marvin Jones this week. Usually Chicago is pretty good against number 1 receivers. We'll have to see how that comes out, but I don't usually play guys against the number 1 receiver in Chicago. I usually go with the second wide receiver, but I will look at Golden Tate there in this game. Jacksonville and Cleveland. We know that Cleveland's run defense is one of the better ones in football, okay? They've been pretty staunch. Last week, Detroit was pretty good against them. But I think this week you're talking about a lot of wind. A lot of wind in this game. They're talking 20, 25 mile an hour winds. If that's the case, I do like Isaiah Crowell a lot. And I do like Duke Johnson a lot because I think the short passes are going to be where it's at. I don't like receivers for Cleveland against Jacksonville. So if I have Corey Coleman, this is not the week to play him. You'll be playing Corey Coleman. You won't be playing him this week. For Jacksonville, expect to see D.D. Westbrook back, but I don't think he does much. I don't think this is a Keelan Cole week either. I think this is a Marquise Lee week. So here you go. Couple of players in that game, Marquise Lee and I think Duke Johnson and Crowell make a lot of sense. So I'm not going to stack this game because it's going to be a very low scoring game, but I'm looking at these players. Baltimore at Green Bay. So let's talk about the Ravens against the run. So the Ravens against the run they've let up touchdowns and they've had some really bad games, but the last 2 weeks have been really good. Miami, 19 for 45. Tennessee, 17 for 45. They've been very, very stingy. So the question is, are we going to see the Ravens, who let up 199 rushing yards to the Bears and 160 to the Vikings, or are we going to see the new Ravens against Miami and Tennessee? I think we're going to see the new Ravens, so I am not in on Jamal Williams this week. I'm not. I don't think it's going to be a great week for him. I think he'll be okay, but I'm not looking forward to starting him. I think the Ravens against wide receivers are very, very good. All right, I don't like this game at all for the Green Bay Packers. I like this a lot for the Ravens. So the question is, the Packers have been very bad against wide receivers. Very bad. Can Joe Flacco step up and be good this week? Can he go to Macklin? Can Collins run the football? This is a game the Ravens can win. This is a winnable game for the Ravens. I don't know if they'll do it on the road, but they can do it. So I think this is a sneaky game. It's a very low total in this game. Okay, it's a very low total. Let me get this game in here. What is it at? 37.5. But I do like the Ravens in this game. Okay, Tampa Bay against Miami. Miami has been a very strange team to watch because sometimes they're very good and then sometimes they're very bad. They were very bad against Carolina. They've let up touchdowns in droves in the passing game. Could this be a Ryan Fitzpatrick to Mike Evans week? It very well could be. I don't ever trust Fitzpatrick, but I could see this happening. Tampa Bay's defense has been disgusting of the ultimate, but I want to look at the run stopping. The Buccaneers have not been able to stop the run. The Jets didn't do that much against the Buccaneers, but that was Powell and McGuire. So the other games, the Buccaneers have been terrible. Minnesota over 100 yards, New England over 100 yards, Arizona 148 yards, Buffalo 120 yards. Could this be a week for Drake and Damian Williams? It very well could be. I think for both teams, the run game is going to set up the passing game. I like the Drake this week. I like Miami to beat Tampa Bay. Los Angeles against Minnesota. So the Rams have been playing at a very, very, very high level. Been very impressed with the Rams. Problem is the Rams' weakness might be the Vikings' strength. The Rams don't stop the run particularly well. They just don't. They've let up a lot of touchdowns. Not recently. Out of the last 5 games, they've only let up 1 rushing touchdown. That's true. But it is a weakness, and I think Minnesota could exploit that weakness with McKinnon and with Latavius Murray. So this one I'm watching. I'm watching that, and then I'm watching the fact that Minnesota, Xavier Rhodes covers the number 1 receiver very well, should be Sammy Watkins. They don't cover the number 2 receiver very well, Robert Woods, who could have another very good week. And they don't cover the slot receiver very well. So that could be absolutely Cooper Kupp there. So this could be a Kupp-Woods week, depending on whether Woods or Watkins sees the number 1 cornerback. Whoever sees the number 1 quarterback, go with the other guy, and then go with Cooper Kupp. All right? But it will be interesting to see LA in Minnesota. It's going to be a little chilly there. I'm interested to see what happens. Washington and New Orleans is a 51.5 game, and the Saints are a 9-point favorite. I'm going to tread very lightly on this game. I happen to like the Redskins a little bit. I do. I like them a little bit in this game. But I am worried about, the Redskins, Redskins against running backs have been pretty decent. So the question is, can they stop Ingram and Kamara? And then if they do stop Ingram and Kamara, what can they do against the passing game? So I think this is going to be more of a Drew Brees game than anything. I think Drew Brees picks them apart this week. Can they cover? Yes, I think they can cover. I don't think the Saints defense is as good as you think it is. The Saints have played very well defensively, and I got to give them all the credit in the world. I got to give them credit. But I think this is a Crowder week. And I want to see something here. The Saints against the tight end. Let me see. One moment, please. The Saints have been stingy against the tight end. Wow, really stingy. So this may not be a Vernon Davis week. Here are the Saints against a tight end since week 1. Are you ready? 26 yards and a touchdown. Then against New England, 121 and a touchdown. Okay? Then 8 yards, 29 yards. 35 yards, 17 yards, 24 yards, 28 yards, 20 yards. Wow. So maybe I don't want VD this week, but I think I might want Jamison Crowder this week. I think this is a Crowder week. There you go. I wrote down Crowder right there. The pen is clicking. I think I want Crowder there this week. Kansas City and the Giants. So just for all you people out there, the Giants versus the tight end. In every game, the tight end is scored. 1-1-1-2, 1-1-1-1-1. Are you kidding? What is Travis Kelce going to do this week? He's going to score. You want to play Andy Reid after a bye week? I don't want to play Andy Reid after a bye week. I like Alex Smith. I like Travis Kelce. I like Kareem Hunt. I like Tyreek Hill. I like them all. For the Giants, I do like Sterling Shepard. I think that the Chiefs have been very poor against wide receivers. I like Shepard a ton this week. So I could easily do a little stacky poo with Kelce and Shepard in there, and I'm just fine with that. Okay? Arizona against Houston. So I want to throw out a stat to you, and I threw it out there last week. I'm going to throw it out there again this week, okay? The Texans versus the running backs. They are really good. They are really good against the running backs. They don't let up touchdowns. 1 touchdown this year against running backs. I'm telling you, this is not a week to go with Adrian Peterson. Don't get duped. Don't get suckered in. I'm not. Blaine Gabbert's there. I'm making Blaine Gabbert beat me. I am. And the Texans receivers stink. The Texans, the Texans receivers are good. One moment, please. The Texans cornerbacks stink. So I think this is a huge potential week for Larry Fitzgerald, for John Brown, for J.J. Nelson. So the question is John Brown healthy? He hasn't been very healthy. He's very questionable. Didn't participate in practice. Is he out? If he's out, I may like Jerron Brown this week. I may like J.J. Nelson. I know this is insane. I'm just throwing out the idea that I could do a Blaine Gabbert to Larry Fitzgerald stack in this game and come back with Brucey Ellington. Write it down, baby. Cousin Brucey Ellington. Why do I like Bruce Ellington? I'm glad you asked me that question. Okay? Here's why. First of all, I think Patrick Peterson Roto is going to be covering DeAndre Hopkins. Will Fuller's out. They're going to have to use Ellington more and more and more. Arizona is actually very good against the tight end. Okay? Arizona, way more respectable against the tight end than you think they are. Not great, but here's the numbers against the tight end. 9, 99, 3, 35, 82, 96, 13, 40, 49. You think Fedorowicz is having a huge game? I don't think he's having a huge game. I think Bruce Ellison is having a big game this week. I'm locking this dude in. Okay? So that's my sneaky play of the week. Gabbert to Fitzgerald with a little Ellington kicker. Buffalo and the Chargers, Peterman. Nathan Peterman. What is he going to do? I don't know, but I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued by Peterman this week. Can he be the pocket passer the Bills need? I hope so. The pocket passing presence the Bills need. Look, they weren't doing it with Tyrod. I'm hoping that they do it for LaShawn McCoy, for Kelvin Benjamin, for Charles Clay. They need a guy back there in the pocket. I like McCoy this week. I think Peterman goes to him. He's a great start. Like Kelvin Benjamin, don't love him this week. Let me see the Chargers against tight ends. Ooh, bad. Oh, not a good game for Charles Clay. This is not a game to go with Chucky. Don't go with Chucky this game. I do like Jordan Matthews this week. He could be sneaky. For the Chargers, Melvin Gordon. I'm all in on Melvin Gordon this week. I know a lot of people like Eckler, but I like Melvin Gordon, and I like Keenan Allen Roto this week a lot. The Bills have been very, very, very generous against wide receivers recently. Okay? The last couple of games, they 150 yards. New Orleans could have thrown it all year. I'm just saying, take a look at Keenan Allen Roto. I like him this week. Cincinnati against Denver. This is just disgusting. So I guess the question I want to look at here is, for starting purposes, the Broncos against running backs. The Giants ran well against them, but the Chargers didn't. The Chiefs didn't. The Eagles ran all over them, and New England ran. So this could be a Joe Mixon week. I don't think this is going to be an A.J. Green week, but this very easily could be a Tyler Kroft week. Okay? As bad as the Giants are against the tight end, the Broncos are pretty bad too. 97-1, 70-1, 61-0, 88-1, 77-0, 133-1, 80-1, 123-1. You want to play Tyler Kroft this week? You have my blessing. For Denver, the question is, Cincinnati has been pretty good against wide receivers. Okay, they're pretty good against wide receivers. I don't see where the points are going to come this week. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game here. I might be looking at the under in this game and playing some of the defenses there. Denver against Andy Dalton, good luck with that one. Here, you know what you get for that? The pen click, right? Denver's defense, I like them a lot this week. New England at Oakland, wow, load them up, get this game in. Who's going to score? Everybody's going to score all day, all night. Brandon Cook scoring, Rob Gronkowski scoring, Michael Crabtree scoring. You know, Carr is good, Brady's better. Cooper is good, Cooks is better. Right? That's just what it's going to be. I really think a lot of scoring this game. I think Tom Brady could be close to 400 yards. I think he could be at 3 touchdowns. I think Derek Carr could be at 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So Vegas agrees with me. They have this game at a 55. Get this game in, all your players. Rev them up. There's going to be the Ole defense in Mexico City because there ain't going to be any defense playing in this one. Philadelphia, Dallas. I'm interested to see Philadelphia, Jay Ajayi. How's he going to look there? Philadelphia, can they stop Dak Prescott? You know, I'm interested to see how Philadelphia does against Dak Prescott because there's not much of a running game there. The Eagles are pretty good against the run, so I think Dallas is going to struggle there. I see this being a Dak and Rod Smith week. I like Rod Smith week right there. You heard the pen click. I think he's a very sneaky play this week because the Cowboys will not be able to run the football. Philadelphia, keep your eyeballs peeled on Nelson Aguilar. Okay, Dallas tends to bring these guys into the middle of the field. I like Ertz. I like Aguilar. I think those are the better starts this week than Alshon Jeffrey. And then finally, Atlanta and Seattle. An interesting game of two teams who are trying to make the playoffs and make a playoff run here. How will Atlanta do without Devonta Freeman? And how will Seattle do without Richard Sherman? Could we see a lot of Julio Jones? You betcha. A lot of Mohamed Sanu? You betcha. How will Atlanta's pass rush do against Seattle? They were really good last week. Will they be as good against Seattle? Seattle always plays better at home, so that's my hot take there. I'm very much looking forward to watching that game. It could be a great one. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Remember, I'm doing a podcast with my man Fuego Steve Hillman tonight. It'll be up tomorrow at scoutdfs.com. Also, I will be on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio tomorrow morning from 7 to 10, and then again on Sunday morning from 10 to 11 with my man Adam Ronis. All right, guys, wishing you a great day. Good luck in Week 11. Be well, and take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!